let's start our data analysis block diagram or overview of the course of data analysis. So first of all, we start with our globe here. Let's assume this is our globe or universe, whatever you prefer. And this globe is the place where a lot of events take place. Events like today it is raining in some parts of India, that is event. We have budget of India presented yesterday, so that is an event. In budget there is a lot of data, right? Like which elements are now cheaper, which elements are now costlier, what is the tax slab, you know, what is the different type of uh, prices related to goods and short-term short-term gains and long-term gains. Everything is data. So in the world, these type of events happen. Well, it can be a sports related event, it can be a disaster or a, some kind of a natural disaster event. It can be some kind of product launch, it can be some kind of service launch, or you went to amazon.com and you brought a product, that is also an event. You sent your friend some money or you purchased something. So in the world a lot of events are happening. These are random events, and based on these events we have a lot of raw data. Okay, whenever an event is there we have raw data. This raw data is actually of no use for analysis because it's raw data, it's in raw format, and people cannot analyze this raw data. So you usually see raw data in form of you know blogs, articles of people talking about something. So whenever there is an event, because of that event there is some raw data. With the help of data collection techniques, with the help of programming like Python programming, and there are many techniques which we will cover in this chapter, which are our topics of data collection techniques and methods. So with the help of different data collection methods, what we do is we convert this raw data into structured data. Now, what is structured data? As the name suggests, this structured data is actually the data which has a defined structure. It can be a tabular structure, it can be any other different kind of structure, but it follows a pattern and there are some rules and regulations while creating the data. So now we will have a look at one such structured data. So this is one structured data, and in this structured data, as you can see, we have row ID, order date, ship mode. So this is actually data of orders received by a company in 4 consecutive years starting from 2014 to 2017. So whatever orders they receive, if we arrange the data in you know ascending or descending order, so you can see last order was received on 30 December 2017, and whatever shipping mode was there, whoever ordered that, customer's name, from which segment that customer was, customer's city, customer's state, what was the total amount of sales, what was the total profit received during that or in that order, quantity of products sold, and so on. So you can see there are a lot of variables. Every column here is a variable or a feature, and all these features combined is a data set for us. So when we present the data in such structure format, then it is very important for us, and it becomes very easy for us actually to see that now we can analyze this data, we can actually see this data in a more convenient way, and it is very easy to transmit this data or transfer this data to other locations also. So this is one such format. This is an Excel file. An Excel file is one of the way of storing structured data. In the similar way, we have another data here. This data belongs to Titanic ship that sank in an accident, and this data also has these variables. So this data has these 11 variables which are actually features of the data, or we can say these are all properties or objects. These are all properties of the data that we have. Like these are all data related to passenger. So what is the passenger ID? As we know, Titanic just sank, so whether or not that passenger was able to survive or not, if passenger survived, we have 1 written here. If passenger died, we have 0 written here. In which passenger class was he or she traveling, whether the passenger was male or female, age, and so on. So I'll not go in too much detail right now at this moment, but this is a CSV file, as you can see here. So there are many formats in which we can save structured data. I have given you 2 examples which are most commonly used examples of storing data so that we can transmit them, and these examples are CSV and Excel. There will be other examples as well. So we have many events, like sinking of Titanic was an event, but related to that event, whatever useful data we could collect, we have collected in form of a CSV file or a Excel file. Similarly, our company had close to 10,000 sales in last 4 years. Related to sales or orders, whatever data we could save, we have saved in form of an Excel file, and that is how we create a structured data from an event. Obviously, some manual efforts and some automated efforts are needed to create this structured data, but as a data analyst, you will actually get this data in some format, and I am going to name some formats here. So we will work with Excel file during the course. So it will be Excel files, CSV files, SQL files. SQL is also one of the best technologies when it comes to relational database management, and we will learn SQL, we will learn Excel. CSV is just a format to save data, and there there are other formats also, so like JSON, XML. These data are most commonly used in APIs, like if you have to provide APIs. So we'll work with various APIs also. I'm just writing API and put a star here so that we can understand that we'll work this and etc. There will be many more other formats which we will study. So there are events, there is raw data, then there is structured data, like with different type of processing we change this raw data into structured data, and then once we have the structured data with us, we work on different type of things, like I'm just putting a very simple word here, but there are many things like data cleaning. So like all data may or may not be you know useful to us, so we will clean the data cleaning, focusing, selection. There are many steps. I will give you a presentation also where you will read all of this. So up until this point, what we have done is we have some goal in mind, some kind of problem or some kind of analysis that we have to do. With the goal in mind, with the analysis to do, we collect data. So we convert the raw data into structured data, we collect it, and we actually do data cleaning, do some kind of focusing and selection, like whatever is needed we select that part, and then we simply do statistical analysis. So the step involved here, like data cleaning, data munging, data wrangling, all of this you will learn in our course, like data wrangling, data munging, cleaning, mining, everything you will learn in our course, like what are their meanings, at what point do we need them. So we'll do that. Now after cleaning the data, after cleaning the structured data, the first thing that we do is statistical analysis and graphical analysis. These are the simple terms that we will use, like we will prepare graphs from our data. We will do a statistical analysis, we will do graphical analysis. In a statistical analysis, we will analyze things like, we'll use formulas and everything like sum, minimum, maximum, variance, standard deviation, and so on, count and so on. We'll learn about these things. In graphical analysis, we will, after doing the statistical analysis, we will prepare bar graphs, pie charts, line graphs, histograms, etc. Like which graph to draw at what point, what should be our strategy, and things like that. Just give me a minute. So this is one of our Tableau profiles where we have performed some analysis. So for example, this is one page, this is one page. So here you can see this is actually analysis of this particular data that we have. So we get the data in this format actually, like we get the data in Excel format, and then a lot of questions are asked, like which particular city has most number of sales, which state has most number of sales and profit, which region contributed in most count of orders, things like that, which shipping mode was actually there where people order most number of goods. So whatever we have, we present the data like this, as you can see here. Here you can see segment wise profit and sales. Here you can see order date wise sales versus profit, like how our sales grew over the years, like in 2014 to 2015, what was the trend of sales, then 2015 to 16 and 17 and so on. So what is the trend of sales there, which state got most number of sales. As you can see, California is the state with darkest color here, and this is another view of region wise profit. So these are some, some of the data points that we, some of the graphs that we have created. You can also see tabular representations, like you can see that data in tabular format also. Similarly, this is one sport event related analysis. So this is analysis of IPL, Indian Premier League cricket tournament, and here you can see we have analysis of, who scored most number of runs so far, who has took most wickets, total number of sixes hit, total number of fours hit, top 10 men of the match, and so on. So we are just giving you an example of how to present the data in form of dashboards. These are all interactive, like you can select any particular file like this. So and Tableau is one way of doing things. Like in Tableau, you can do this. Similarly, similarly, we have Power BI also as a tool. So Power BI is another data analysis tool that you will learn in this course. So you will learn Tableau, you will learn Power BI, you will learn Excel. In Power BI also you will see that we have data and will correct. I am just opening one of the reports. So you can see कि यहाँ here also we are just creating Power BI reports. All these videos are actually available on our platform. Here you can see we have a sample sales dashboard, and this report is also part of the same data that we were just discussing. So here also we have presented subcategory wise sales, segment wise sales and all. So this data is also available on our channel, where you can go and view as a demo if you want. So by statistical analysis and graphical analysis, I mean these things. And in most of the companies, your job will be something similar. Like there will be problem statements, and there will be data, and from that data you have to drive meaningful information, and then after driving meaningful information you have to present the data, you have to do some kind of calculations, and after calculations you have to represent the data in form of these graphs and dashboards and a story and so on. And for this purpose you will learn, so for this purpose you will learn Tableau, Power BI and Python pandas. So with Python pandas there are more libraries. I'm not going to name too many libraries here to just confuse people, but these are some of the tools that are most widely used and in order to analyze something like this. So this will be the part of the course, and after statistical analysis and graphical analysis, once you have done everything, once you have analyzed everything, you will sometimes people also use exploratory data analysis just to explore the data. So people also do this, and once you have done all of this, once you have prepared the reports and all, so next topic comes is machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence where we focus on you know creating models to solve a particular problem. So after you have analyzed the data, after you have drawn some conclusions, you will teach that to your machine, or your program. Like if you are doing forecasting, so you will teach that to your machine. Forecasting is one kind of machine learning. Trend analysis, you know, is one kind of machine learning. So in machine learning, you will learn supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning, and we will learn many algorithms. Many of these algorithms belong to supervised, many belong to unsupervised. You must have heard about these algorithms as well, but some of them are linear regression, support vector machine, logistic regression, decision tree classification, and so on. So all of this will be our chapters, and we will learn these things using Tableau, Power BI and Python pandas. The idea why we are choosing these three tools, and along with this SQL will also be there. So not to forget, SQL will be there. Why have we chosen these tools or programming languages? Because industry demands it. If you read 100 jobs of data analytics fresher, or you know starting level, entry level data analytics person, they will probably mention three of them or maybe four of them. So this is something that you will learn, and we will teach you with the help of at least 50 different examples. So we will work on 50 different data sets, and there you will learn all of this. So this is first part of our first class, which is a simple block diagram of data analytics. And now if you have any questions up to this point, you can ask. So we also have this PPT where, like, we have defined what is data. So we learned this simple block diagram. With the help of this block diagram, a lot of things were clear, like we have events. With events there is raw data. With data processing we have data sets. You just saw example of 2-3 data sets, and from data sets we can do statistical modeling and analysis. From there we can create reports and visualizations, and we can also create data driven products. Like you see many data driven products. uh, you know, there are many startups who are now creating AI based image recognition system, AI based image generation, chat GPT, driverless cars, automatic, uh, uh, and even very small tools like fingerprint recognition system, face recognition system. You know, everything that you are seeing now, everything related to AI that you are seeing is actually somewhat part of this journey, right? Then after statistical models and analysis, there is machine learning, and machine learning is actually that part where whatever analysis you have done, whatever information you have drawn, whatever relationship between variables you have calculated, everything you can teach your machine and create programs that can later predict that for you. So we will learn all of this as well. Here is a simple step that I explain, like first we collect data, then in collection we have observation, interviews, documents, recording, scraping. Like there are many things, and many of these things are all not mentioned here, but data collection can be anywhere. Suppose the very classic way of collecting data is survey. Like people do surveys, online surveys are there, offline surveys are there. So first process is data collection, then you reduce the data. Like you will collect data, but all of that data will not be useful for you. You only focus on certain objects in the data. Then you focus data display, like charts, matrices, graph, tables. So you focus on that. Then finally you draw conclusion, like what is the data saying. For example, when we saw a report online, so when we saw a report, we can see when companies started their operations, sales were less, and as years passed, their sales became more. So this is one conclusion. We can conclude that California is the state that is generating most sales for us. We can conclude that, and because California is in actually in west, so west region is that region which is generating more sales in the USA. So this is what you can do conclusions. Conclusions can be in form of text. Conclusions can be in form of tables, whatever you prefer. Similarly, so this is one simple journey. This document will be shared with you, and we have very simple definitions of data. Like an interviewer may ask, like, what is data for you? So first of all, data is a plural word. It's not a singular word. It's a plural word, and that means data is actually collection of facts and statistics that are collected for reference or analysis. alphabets, numbers, characters, or symbols on which we perform operations by computer, which may be stored and transmitted. Like in simple word, whatever information we can collect and process through a computer is actually data for us. Like it should be you know in a format where we can record it, where we can transmit it. So this is data, or the information in its raw or unorganized form is also referred to as data. But what is data for us is, for us it is the information that we collect for analysis. So that is data for us, the event related information. How we collect data? We collect it through surveys, interviews, like I am talking to you. If I ask like what is your name, you will say, we will create an Excel file here. So suppose I ask what is your name, what is your email, what is your age, what is your qualification, what is your gender, your city, your uh, expertise or experience, whatever. It can be n number of things. So you will give the answer. Right now we have 3 or 4 students who have joined this class through Google Meet. So I can ask you, you can provide me that data, and then I will have data of 3 students, right? So this is one simple way, like asking people, interviewing people, doing surveys. Then nowadays there are digital methods, like when you use your mobile devices, when you visit any website, that website also stores some information related to your visit, like what is your IP address, what is your location, what is the duration for which you visited the website, what type of products or blogs did you see on the website, and things like that. On the basis of your interest, these websites also show you products, recommendations. If you are familiar with Netflix, so Netflix or Amazon Prime, so when you create your account and log in and you visit for the first time, based on your age and gender, it will recommend you something. And after some time, it will automatically learn what type of movies are you liking. And then it will start recommending you movies and shows based on your interest. So that is also one type of machine learning. The movie recommendation system, the YouTube video recommendation system, how Google gives you suggestions based on your queries. Those type of things are also projects of machine learning or data science. Similarly, whenever you do any kind of transactions on any website, that information is also stored in their server, and that is also one way of collecting data, web forms and so on. So there are many ways of collecting data, and some of them are listed here, and that's why the first step starts with how do you collect them. Then, to make our course simpler, we will learn data analysis on projects of these types. Like we will, as I gave, we have data related to Titanic, we have data related to Superstore, we have data related to IPL matches, sports analysis, football analysis, financial analysis, analysis related to nature, weather, cultural, geographical. We also have data related to population of India, you know literacy ratio, gender ratio, everything related to population, we have that data. So we'll do it on the real data set, like whatever real data set is available on the public domain, we will work on that. We'll also work on healthcare analysis data, which is kind of our own project, where you will work on data related to liver function test, kidney function test. So I don't want to, bombard you with too much of what we will do, but just to give you an information, like what we will do in our course is actually somewhat part of these categories. Like data will belong to these categories, right? So this is what we will do. And finally, just to conclude conclude today's session, because it's just an introductory session, the main thing that you have to remember today is, which we'll carry forward in the next chapter, is data is actually of two main types. One is the qualitative data and one is the quantitative data. Now, suppose we have this Excel file, okay? So in this Excel file also, there are many variables which you can do, on which you can do average, count, sum. There are these variables where you can do average, count and sum. There are many variables on which you can perform mathematical functions, right, operations. But there are some variables like category. You can only count. There is no average, no sum. If you focus here, so whatever numerical variables are there, like what we can count. So these four variables in this case are quantitative data that will be used for graphical analysis, and this is actually quantitative data like that we will analyze. Apart from this, there are data like segment. So in segment, if you will filter, there are only three segments, right? Consumer, corporate, home office, right? Then there is city name, then there is state. So every row here represents an order, and every column is property of that order or quality of that order. So like ship mode, customer name, segment, country, city, these are all qualitative variables and these are all quantitative variables. Let's see one more example, the Titanic example. Here every order represents a passenger, you know, who was on board, or who was traveling on the Titanic ship. So what was the class of that passenger? What was the name? So all these data like class, name, gender, these are all qualitative data. Like they are representing some quality of the passenger. And data like age, fare are representing quantity. Like age can be counted, or average age, minimum age, maximum age, total age, count, fare is also something like that. So data where we can perform mathematical operations, where we can count, do average, minimum, maximum, everything. Those are quantitative data for us, and other variables are qualitative. So that's what is being conveyed here. There's a qualitative data and there's a quantitative data, and can be counted, can, so it is written there. Some examples are also given here, like words, objects, numbers and statistics are all quantitative data. So all you have to remember today, all of you who are in class, is that whenever a data set will come in front of us, whenever we'll see a data set, always try to figure out, always try to kind of do segmentation between, where identification between where are your qualitative variables and where are your quantitative variables. And as a practice, as a practice, whatever variables you think are your qualitative variables, just select them and mark them as blue. Just giving you one heads up. This will come later why I am saying this. And whatever numbers you see, just mark them as green, just to kind of separate them, that you have now understanding where are all those variables which will be used as counts, where are all those variables which will be used as dimensions, or so This is something that you have to do. So this is how you will identify them. And similarly, we have given some examples also, like if if name of a person is given, if some attributes are given, right, properties of a object are given, so we will in form of alphabets, in form of words. That is qualitative. Quantitative, you already know, like marks of a person, mass of an object, salary of a person, and so on. So these are the different types of data that we have. And there is further further classification also between qualitative and quantitative, that is discrete, continuous, which we will learn tomorrow. Like this topic will need some more explanation. I will give you more examples. All you need to remember today is that we are going to use several programming languages and tools throughout our course to learn all of this, and we are also going to use, you know, and we are now from today's conclusion, we just have to remember that we have classified data into two parts, and tomorrow we will learn further classification, like what is discrete, what is continuous. In qualitative also we have nominal and ordinal variables, which we will learn tomorrow. So I will provide you this PPT so that you can go through it, and you can, you know, just read it. Whatever doubts you have about today's session, if you have any doubts, you can ask us. I know today was not any programming session or any session where we just start doing stuff, but obviously we will learn all of that later. Okay.